Hey everyone, hi, this is Sanskriti and I'm an illustrator based in Delhi. First, thank you so much for showing so much love on my first video, which really motivated me to do this one. And this is gonna be all about how I do my design process, how it all works, and all the mistakes I've made all these years, which I want you guys to avoid who are just starting out. So I'll start with my first commission, which was a traditional artwork, and it started out pretty smoothly because she knew what she wanted. So it was all about like Marvel heroes, and she wanted to make a composition and everything. She was pretty clear about her design brief, so it went on pretty smooth. But when I landed on my first digital artwork project, it was of a couple who wanted to recreate their memory from their honeymoon, or it was basically their special memory, and I wanted to recreate that picture. And obviously I didn't know how the design process works and how do you update and what are the process, what are the steps, how you basically communicate, like on what steps you have to update them and everything. So I was a little bit confused and I made a lot of mistakes. Obviously, I just heard their design brief and went on with my work and just surprised them with the final output. And that's how it went. And obviously, it had a lot of changes, a lot of revisions back and forth. So if I had knew all these points, which I had to keep in mind, obviously I wouldn't have made all these mistakes. But it gave me a lot of great lessons. That first commission had a lot of revisions and changes and everything. I didn't had any boundaries in terms of my rules and what I work, what are my work hours, and how everything works. It was all very clumsy, and this is why I wanted to avoid all these mistakes. So I'll list down all the pointers. So my first mistake was I didn't communicate properly. I didn't discuss what is the scope of work, how they want their work to be, what is the main purpose of the work. So first point would be, try to communicate as much as you can. Try to get all the pointers they want in an artwork. What are their expectations, what are they exactly looking for, what is the color scheme they want, and what are their aesthetic choices. So first point would be, try to communicate as much as you can. Second, never let the client underpay you, in terms of, obviously when we are starting out and there's a client on your window, and you don't want to miss that opportunity, so you let the client underpay you on various terms. They try to negotiate, and that is where you have to set boundaries. There are gonna be a lot of boundaries in this video, because you need to have boundaries in terms of payments, in terms of your working hours. It's not like if you are a freelance artist, you can work on Sunday night and everything, and they are calling you on weekends to work and do the changes and everything. So my second mistake was I didn't set boundaries in terms of my working hours, and in terms of payment I let them underpay me. I was okay negotiating what they were exactly looking for. I mean, I was not confident enough to just stand for myself. So you have to value yourself, because if you can't value yourself, nobody will ever do that for you. So that was the second mistake I did. My third mistake was that I took less time, and I compensated in the time frame they have given me. I agreed upon all the terms they were saying. So you need to have your actual time, because you can't just give the work in 2 days or 3 days, because that will definitely not justify your work quality. So try not to negotiate on time part, and take as much time as you want, and just tell them that this is the time frame you need, and if they want to still go with you, that's their choice. So just make your time frame clear, very clear enough, so that it doesn't get onto your mental health or your physical health, anything. So it's our health is our priority, and you shouldn't just compensate on the time frame. So my fourth mistake was that I didn't set any process flow, how the whole thing works. As I've mentioned as well, that I took the design brief and then I made the whole thing, I sketched it, I colored it, and then boom, I just surprised them with the final output. And there were a lot of changes in terms of faces and expressions and the fabric quality, lot of minute changes, as you can see. So I had to set and frame what is going to be the workflow of the whole video. So that was my biggest mistake, because that landed me on a lot of revisions at the final end. Because when you have worked all these process like sketching and everything, I have merged all lot of layers and I had to go back and forth. So there was a lot of mess, chaos, and we didn't end up on quite good terms because of that. So now I'll tell you how things work at my end now, like the whole design process, what are the steps, and everything in detail. So I'll take you through my design process, how everything works, and that helps me to avoid all these mistakes. So my first step would be discussion. Try to discuss as much as you can, get all the information. What is the scope of the work, what is the design brief, exact design brief in written, and try to discuss everything. What are they expecting, what are the color schemes, what are their aesthetics. To know their aesthetics, I usually ask them to send me a few of my design works which they have liked. So that helps me to understand their design brief much better, and that also helps me to define the pricing. So once we are done discussing what are they exactly looking for, what form, is it video or is it a PDF, and everything, once the design process is over in terms of discussion, I send them the quotation for the whole thing, and once they approve, we get on to next process, which is collecting information. So in this process, I told them I have this list of questions. If you want, I can put it in description below. Like all the questions I send them, which help me understand them better in terms of their personality, because wedding invites and all these work is all about personalization. As much as you can involve them, that makes the process much more easier and more personalized. So I try to involve them as much as I can. I send them this list of questions which has pointers about what are their color choices and what exactly are they looking for. Is there anything that they want to include in the video or the invite, or is there any work which they have liked from another designer, and any past work experiences they have done with another designer which they have quite liked. So all these questions, which I send them this PDF which has like all these questions, and they try to get back to me in like 2 to 3 days, and which really help me to understand their personalities. It also has the questions about their likings, what are their professions. So everything that helps me to just include their personalities in terms of their choices by pictures. It really helped me to understand their personality in terms of their clothing. That also helps, because if they are experimental, obviously they want their designs to be experimental, and if they suppose they are travelers, so obviously I know they want nature as much as more than anything materialistic. So that small pointers really help me to understand the person better. So after this PDF, once they approve everything, okay, this is what we want and this is our design brief, everything in written in a PDF Word document. Once I go through that, I take a week time or maybe 3 to 4 days to get back to them with the layout and my brainstorming chart. What is my understanding of that PDF? What did I understand? And everything I understood, I'll write all the pointers, how the video is gonna be, how the invite is gonna be. Like every sheet will have detailed information about the aesthetics, about the background, about the poses and elements and everything. Like sheet by sheet, I'll do a rough sketch and explain them via video or on a call. I discuss every frame with them, that this is gonna how I'm gonna do the every frame. And once they go through all these pictures and references, I've sent them brainstorming chart, mood boards. I also do these mood boards where I add visuals, what kind of theme I wanna make, or what is gonna be my concept, everything. It's like a rough draft. So that is my first draft, which goes from my side once the payment is done. There's this one point I forgot to miss, that I have heard a lot of stories about mishaps, all the mishaps about payments and everything. Always take advance. It will help you protect yourself, be it any family member or friend or anyone, even the one person you trust the most. Just take advance before you start the work. It will help you. It will help your working hours and everything, because I have heard a lot of stories from you guys only, that you have faced lot of people who didn't pay you or left halfway. I also have faced those people. So always take advance amount. It should be around 40-50% of the whole payment. So that does protect you. Even if they leave midway, you have certain amount with you which is protecting you. So always take payment. And now I'll go on to my design process. So when you are done with the draft, before the draft, you have to make sure that your advance is with you. Only then you start with the draft 1, that is your brainstorming chart, because obviously your time has a value. So you need to have a protection about the payment. So have your advance in your hand, only then start working on the draft and brainstorming chart, and just send them the whole draft and wait for a few days. What are they thinking? Just give them few days so that they can settle down with their thoughts. What are they exactly looking for, and are they satisfied with your ideas? And just make sure to mention all these points before only, that you will be needing approval at every stage, that is layout, sketching, coloring and editing, and they need to make proper approval on every stage, because you can't just go back and forth from editing to layout and sketching to coloring and anything. So they just need to approve you at every stage, so that there's less chances of making any mistakes and revisions. And if they still want to go back and forth, they have to pay you a certain amount which you had in your mind. So just make sure to tell them before the process starts that they need to approve at every step. So they'll pay more attention, and they won't burden you with changes and revisions. So just make clear of this point. And once they approve the draft, and they'll add their addition, subtraction, anything if there's any, or you can go on to with the sketching process, where you're gonna sketch turn all that rough draft into sketching form, like proper detailing, pencil sketches, and all the element placements and backgrounds and outfits, everything in detail. And again send them the draft 2, so that they know how it's gonna turn out. It's not a surprise how their features gonna look like, or how their outfits are gonna turn out, everything in detail. So make sure you send this stage, because this is the most important stage. And if they want to make any changes in terms of silhouette or anything, so they'll let you know at that point only. And then you can go on to coloring, where you can color the draft and then send them for approval again if there's any changes in terms of aesthetics of colors. Just make sure before you color everything that just know their color preferences. Is it pastels, or is it bright hues, or is it just combination of both? So just try to talk as much as you can in the process as well. So when you're sketching, do call them up if there's anything that comes to your mind, even if they have approved, like you want to include this, you had this thought of including this element. So just talk as much as you can, and it will really smoothen out the whole process. And once you color the draft, send them again. So that is our draft 4th. And when everything is done, just make sure to update them with the whole final draft. And once they approve, only then start the editing process. So all the changes are done step by step, and there's no back and forth and revisions, because they are also aware of this whole process that you have to approve at every stage, and then editing, and then final. So that's how my whole design process works now. I know it's a lengthy one, but it's very easy one, because it do not lands me on a lot of revisions now. So it is very smooth if you look at it. And obviously this whole design process take around 10 to 15 days. So don't try to burden yourself with within a week's time. So take as much as time you want. So after my design process, here are the set of tips I want you guys to know. So the first would be value yourself in terms of payment, in terms of working hours, timeline, and all these set of rules, these small rules will help you go a long way. So I used to not make contracts, I wasn't into contracts, I wasn't aware how whole this process works and everything, but now I kind of know with all these experiences. So I had this list of questions and my terms and my conditions and everything in a form of Word document, which I send them across before the design process starts. So that really helps me set my terms very straight before I get into work in terms of copyright, that who will own the work, is it exclusive, if I can't post it, or if I can resell it, all these pointers about the deliverables, my working hours, and what else. I have all these questions in a form of contract, which I send them across before the design, before all this process starts. And it really helps me protect my mindset or my mental health basically. And if you want, I can put a link down below including my template of the questions I have made. So I browsed a little bit on Google and I mix match few of the templates, and I have this my version of contract. So I can also put that in link. So please comment down below if you want to see that one, and I can also post it on my Instagram. So do check out my Instagram. I'll put the link here or here, just check it out. So my second tip would be, when you are starting out, try not to ignore work and try to take as much experiences as you can. So when you are starting out, just try to say yes to most of the work, because when I was starting out, it wasn't that smooth road. So one day I had work and another day I didn't. So but that didn't dishearten me to stop working. I worked every day. I made fan arts which landed me on few more projects. So try to expand your portfolio as much as you can. So that will help you get commissions. And please don't say no to any of the work, even if you don't know the skill properly. Say yes to every opportunity, because that will help you learn a lot of things. So try to say as much yes as you can to the projects, and it will help you put all these experiences into a bucket. And after all these years, with all the skill sets you have, you will also have the list of experiences, and that will help you grow as a person. And the most awaited question, how much I charge. So I'm not gonna say a single penny or a single specific amount how I started and how you should charge. This is the basic amount, because everyone has different skill set. And don't compare yourself with other artists. Even if you have less followers doesn't define you. Even if you have like 100 followers and you have the work quality like out of this world, that will not define you. That 100 followers will not define your work quality. So charge whatever you feel like, that this is worth my time, this is worth my effort and my skill. So charge accordingly. Don't compare yourself with all these artists had this huge following. Charge as per your quality, because as your skill set will improve, your money will improve as well. So it is directly proportional to each other. So try to improve yourself and it will help you grow the money. So don't run behind money or anything, just try to work on yourself. And I started out with very basic 400 rupees, and whenever I felt like I am improving, I increased my pricing as per my skill set. It wasn't It wasn't anything specific I got from the market. Obviously I did market research about the pricing and everything, but it was more of my experiences, my skills, what I was offering to the client. So whenever I felt like okay, I'm making improvement, I increased my pricing. Time doesn't define you that you need to increase your pricing in a 1 month or 6 month time frame. It all depends upon your skill set. So try to take your skills very seriously, and money will definitely follow. So it went from 400 to 4,000. It will go on from it. The zeros will definitely add up if you just focus on your skill more. So don't run behind money, but obviously do the market research. What kind of pricing is there for like portraits and for the wedding invites? Do your market research so that you are not getting underpaid. But definitely just give them whatever best you can. Don't rely on the budget that okay, this was your budget and I can't give you this much in this frame. So always help them, always provide them with the best as you can, because the review, the feedback, their mouth of word will go a long way, and that will help you land on some more projects. So always give your best, and money doesn't define you, followers doesn't define you. And yeah, this was the last point. Hope you liked this one with this video, and please comment down below if I have made any mistakes or any feedback, anything. It will help me grow as a person or as a YouTuber. And this is it. Hope you liked my video, and please comment down below if you like this one and what do you want to see in next one. Your comments are really appreciated, and it will help me grow as a person, as an artist. So please, you know what to do next. Like this video, comment down below what do you want to see next, and share with your friends, families, everyone, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.
Behind closed doors, I'm a fool for your love.